Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video we're gonna be doing this tip for book tag. I've been really caught up with book tags or any tags since I started on my YouTube channel, and I know that with book tags or any kind of tags you're supposed to just kind of jump in and do them when they're kind of going around. Technically I'm supposed to be filming my February wrap up and what I'm reading in March video, but I really wanted to do this video first. It's kind of easier because you don't have to go into detail about the books as much, so that's what we're gonna be doing. It's pretty disorganized so far, like I don't even know where to start. I'll start with the questions. There might be repeats and categories too, and I'm gonna be do like 2 books in some categories as well. The first question is a book that you tell people is your favorite. That would definitely be either one of these 2, and then probably Daisy Jones and the Six as well. Beach Read and The Inheritance Games. I remember the feeling that I got when I read both of these books. I also remember that no other book has given me that feeling since I read those. So now I'm just like still craving that feeling because these books were amazing. This is when I fell in love with Emily Henry's writing style, and this romance is kind of like enemies to lovers. I literally just talked about this book. It's about this girl that she moves into a cabin, and I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't think we're supposed to be doing that in this video, but this one is enemies to lovers. This is more of a YA book, and there is some romance in it. There's a love triangle, and the whole puzzle and solving a mystery situation, it was right up my alley. So these 2 will definitely go in that category. A book that is my guilty pleasure. This book was my guilty pleasure for the longest time. This is After by Anna Thought. I heard that this was like a Wattpad book, and you can tell in the writing. I'm guessing Wattpad is not like a really well written book, like anyone can go in there and read a book pretty much. She got published, which is pretty impressive. She has 1 billion reads online. Listen, this book is all over the place, but entertaining nonetheless. You have the grumpy sunshine situation going on, you have this like broody guy, and it was my guilty pleasure, and I will recommend this book. Just don't judge me because I know it's a Wattpad book. A book that everyone loved but you didn't. And this is kind of controversial because I do always say that I love Emily Henry's writing, but then I've only technically loved one of her books. I do stand by the fact that I do love her writing style, but sometimes her books just don't hit the same. I will still read them though. That is People Meet on Vacation. I think I stopped reading this book that I marker here at page 188. I feel like I need to finish this book at this point, you know, and just kind of, I DNF'd this book twice. It's been so boring for me. I do really like her writing style, so maybe one day I'll finish it. But I know this is probably the favorite that she has written. I know more people like this and they like Beach Read, and it just wasn't for me. We've got, I think it's A Book You Read the Fastest, Every Summer After. This is kind of like a mixture between The Summer I Turned Pretty and Love in Other Words. Neither of those books are included in this video because I feel like I've talked about this book so much, and I'm also planning on doing a video with a similar category, so I'm not gonna be talking about them here. But I went through this book so fast. This is the whole summer vibe, lake house situation. It's a childhood friends to lovers. Something happens, they grow apart, then she goes back to town. Now, I just ate this up. It's a very short book and I flew through it. We have a book that's becoming a movie / TV show, Thorns and Roses. Even though we don't have a cast or anything going on right now, pretty much no details whatsoever. And then Daisy Jones and the Six, the show's already out and it is great. I didn't have high expectations for it because every time I hype up a book that's gonna become a TV show or a movie, they always disappoint. So far I'm kind of obsessed. The casting is perfect, the way they're executing the show, I'm obsessed. Hopefully the same happens for Aquator. I don't have the first book, it's somewhere here. But honestly, I've heard that Sarah J Maas is really being picky about the process, and she should be, because this needs to be, we have high expectations, Sarah. Book that you have reread the most, that will have to be Beach Read. I have started this book several times just for the feeling of it. I guess I have reread it like completely. Like look, the last time that I kind of started rereading it, I stopped at page like 80. So yeah, it's a comfort read for me, and I will just kind of read some of it here and there. I don't think I've ever reread a book front to back more than once because I like to not know what's gonna happen, and when you reread a book you don't really get that experience. Book that deserves all the hype it gets will have to be the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. The first book wasn't that great, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm not a huge Lily and Lauren fan, but I do think the series as a whole deserves all the hype it gets, and I'm into that world right now and I'm pretty freaking obsessed. It's kind of unfortunate though that not all the books have been published again, so there's like a shortage to get the physical ones, so I've been going to read them on my Kindle, and that does kind of mess with the experience because that's just kind of how I am when it comes to that. But yeah, this is just all the hype it gets, and you'll be hearing from me. Next we have a book that you usually recommend when asked to give a recommendation. As of lately, I haven't recommended this book to every single person that asked me because it was one of my most recent 5-star reads, and I haven't had a 5-star read, I don't think, after that one. Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. Honestly, this book took me by surprise. I didn't really think I was gonna love it as much as I did. I went into it blindly. I didn't know what it was about, and I recommend that when you read it, you go into blind. A book that has my favorite characters. This is hard for me to answer because I'm the type of person that I can fall in love with a book and not fall in love with the characters. I know that's weird, but I don't know, it's just my dog is doing all kinds of stuff to a pillow back there, so let's just like not pay attention to that. I'm gonna go ahead and say that's gonna be the Addicted series and then the Magnolia Parks Universe series. These characters are really infuriating and so are these, but something about that, I feel like every single show that I have liked in my lifetime has been with characters that you wouldn't stand in real life, like Friends, Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girls. Let's face it, you wouldn't be friends with Rory in real life or with Serena or Blair, but they are so fun to follow, and I will say that they are my favorite characters. A book that you usually could live in. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and say again, Magnolia Parks Universe. The whole London scene, it just fascinates me so much, and I really wish I could go to London one day and kind of experience that. So I would love to live in this universe. Maybe not with these characters, but I would love to live in this book because of the setting. A book that you thought you would hate but ended up loving. That's a good question. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's gonna have to be 99 Days by Katie Cotugno. Something about this being done so much, I actually thought I was gonna hate. It's the whole lake house, childhood friends to lovers, something happens, she leaves, she comes back to town. It has been done a lot, but it was done differently in this book, I think. And I really liked it, and I ended up loving this book actually. And it's not your typical romance, I will say that. I have a book that made me cry. I'm gonna be totally honest when I say there hasn't been a book that has actually made me cry real tears, but there's a book that made me very, very sad, and I still think about it to this day, and it breaks my heart. And that will be If You Had Been With Me by Laura Nowell. This book broke my heart in ways I can't describe. I think about these characters to this day. It was heartbreaking. If you don't want to be depressed, don't read this book. I would still recommend this book to pretty much everybody, but it's so sad. Just know that it's very sad when you go into it. We're almost done with this. I think the next one will be a book that you wish that you could read for the first time. I wish this had more questions, and I'm gonna technically add one more. A book that I think deserves more hype. Maybe it was already, it was, and I think I might have skipped it. I have no idea. A book that I think that deserves more hype is this thriller by Jennifer Hillier. Kennedy Elizabeth recommended this book for me when I was doing this video where I read what some YouTubers were reading. She recommended this thriller to me, and I was completely a virgin to the knowledge of this author, this thriller, and I loved it. This was such a good thriller, and it doesn't get talked about. And I do wish, I'm gonna kind of mix the questions together, that I could read this for the first time, because I audibly gasped to the reveals that this book had, and I don't feel like it gets talked about enough. She as a thriller author does not get talked about enough, and she deserves way more hype. This is very controversial because this book gets a lot of hate to this day, but this is an OG booktok book that I fell in love with when I first read it, and I also recommend it to everybody. This is The Hating Game by Sally Thorne. It's already a movie. The movie did kind of do justice a little bit. It wasn't that bad, but I really wish I could read this again. I remember reading this in a road trip, and the feeling this book gave me, it was so entertaining, it was so cute. Like, I felt myself blushing, and kind of that feeling that romance books are supposed to give you, this definitely gave me, and I stand by that. I've come to the end of this video. I love doing these tags. Maybe I'll create one myself. That will be fun. Now, if I create a tag, nobody's gonna use it, but I don't care. I'm just gonna do it for fun. But now I'm kind of thinking, To go ahead and end this video right here. Let me know if you agree with my opinions. Let me know if you disagree. I honestly don't care. But it's always good to, you know, keep me on my toes. Let me know what you think about these books. I know everyone's entitled to their opinion about books. I always make sure to say that. So be nice in the comments. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.